Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hoge, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
I'm AJ Hoge, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. I train you to speak English fluently, speak English confidently, speak English effortlessly. When you join my VIP program, you join at effortlessenglishclub.com. Try it for just $1. It's a great deal. effortlessenglishclub.com. That's the one and only website. effortlessenglishclub.com, where you will join my VIP program. I'm back. We're discussing fasting today, dry fasting. I've been doing some dry fasting this week, and it's great. This is really a great month for fasting. We have Ramadan is still going on now, still going. Just finished Orthodox Easter, which also includes fasting, and what is it called? Akshaya Tritiya, I believe is how you pronounce it, is for Sanatana Dharma and for Jains, is coming up this month. So another holy day that involves fasting for many people. So this is a great time to do it. I just happened to do it, just by chance, really. But then I realized, this is a great time, actually. Great time to talk about fasting. So we're going to talk about fasting. And specifically, I'm going to talk about dry fasting. Because I believe I've had some, experience with fasting. And when we say fasting, what in English, we mean going without food. So no food, no eating. No eating. That's what the general word. To fast, we can use it as a verb, right? It can also be a noun, a fast. I'm doing a fast. And you'll see it used in different ways. It can be a little confusing because different people have different ways of fasting. So like I said, it means basically no food, but that means that some people do juice fasts, for example. They call it a juice fast. What does that mean? It means they only drink juice, right? Vegetable and fruit juice, right? And they'll call that a juice fast. So that's called juice fasting. It's very popular in the United States, for example, doing juice fasting. And it has a lot of great health benefits. Really great health benefits with juice fasting, as long as you only do, real vegetables and fruits. Don't add sugar, don't add any other junk, but just vegetables and fruits. Juice fasting has some wonderful benefits, and you can read about them online. People have written books and done videos about juice fasting. It's really great. Second kind of fasting, probably the next most common that people will talk about, is basically water fasting. So this is more powerful, and it can be somewhat more difficult for someone if you've never done fasting before. And that's where, as you might guess, you're only drinking water. Right, so now you cut out all calories. All the calories are gone because, juice fasting is easier because you're drinking calories, you're getting sugars, and so you're going to feel a lot better when if someone starts doing a fasting. If you do a 4-day juice fast and you're drinking vegetable juices, you might feel tired, you might have some issues, maybe, but maybe not. It's pretty easy to do. Juice fasting is a great way to start if you're interested in fasting for health benefits. Water fasting is more difficult. Now you've got no calories. So that can make it a little more difficult if you're right. So imagine you go 3 days, you do a 3-day water fast, right? A 3-day fast or a 3-day water fast. This is what I did maybe a year or 2 years ago. I did a bunch of water fasts over a month. I would do 3 and 2-day water fasts, and I lost like 8 kilos, I think, in 1 month. And This has more health benefits. Your body will start burning fat, right? Because you're eating no calories, 0 calories, none. So just water, which has 0 calories. It can be a little difficult if you're new to it. The first couple days can be kind of tough as your body change. Most people are sugar addicts, and so changing your body over to burning your body fat, you can get headaches, you feel tired. There's lots of things that are not too fun, but it's not terrible. And once you get used to it, once you do this a few times, your body will change and get used to it, and then you really will do it more easily. There are a lot of great health benefits for water fasting. You can, of course, losing weight is probably the best one. It's the best way to lose weight. By far, the easiest, simplest way to lose weight. You're going to burn body fat, and if you're drinking water, especially if you add a little salt and potassium to the water, this helps your body quite a bit, and still 0 calories, and you'll lose weight. Other benefits is you can start to heal. If you have some kind of sickness, some kind of illness, your body will start to heal these things by itself, without medicines, without drugs. So that's the second kind of fasting, water fasting. And the third kind of fasting, the most powerful by far, is dry fasting. So now with dry fasting, you eliminate the water. So now nothing goes in your mouth. No food and no liquid. No water, no coffee, nothing. Nothing goes in your mouth at all. So that's why it's called a dry fast. So not only no calories, but also no water. Now, you can imagine if you did a 3-day dry fast. So my longest dry fast, I just did a 2-day dry fast. It was honestly not that difficult. I got very thirsty on the second day. And the main thing I noticed, I just lost my energy. I got tired. And I just did a dry fast this weekend. I did a dry fast. It was about not even a full 2 days. It was like a 30... 32, 30, let me look. I didn't write it down. But anyway, it was like a 32 to 35 hour dry fast where I did no drinking and no eating. Now, dry fasts, definitely more difficult, especially if you're not used to it. But on the other hand, super powerful. If you want to heal yourself, heal your body, if you have any kind of illness or sickness or disease or skin problems, it doesn't matter what kind, dry fasting is the best, the most powerful way to heal your body. Not even close. Water fasting's pretty good, but dry fasting is probably, I would say, 2 to 3 times more powerful. Right? Meaning you can do a shorter dry fast and get bigger, stronger, better results. There are also, with water fasting and also with dry fasting, there are other benefits too. There are mental and emotional benefits where you will notice your mind becoming very, very, very clear. Your thinking becomes very clear. It's hard to quite explain it, but it just means that your brain kind of settles down. It becomes calmer and more focused and more clear. So now, in the middle of a long dry fast or even a water fast, you might kind of have other problems where you feel bad. But as soon as you break the fast, like at the end of the fast, that's when you're going to feel fantastic. You'll feel fantastic after you break the fast. In the middle, maybe you don't feel fantastic. But after the fast, you often feel fantastic. And again, that mental clarity. So if you're doing something like meditation or prayer or even studying or learning something, the fasting is it just makes your brain stronger. I can't explain it, but it does. It's very powerful. You will notice this. And of course, you can also call this a spiritual benefit as well, if you talk specifically about the prayer and meditation part. It's very, very powerful. So this is why you'll see, for example, at sometimes at prayer retreats, or meditation retreats. Like I did a Vipassana retreat a long time ago, 10 days of meditation all day. And they do it's kind of similar to the Ramadan fast a little in terms of how long it is. So they only eat breakfast and a tiny lunch in a short time, and then the rest you're probably fasting for 18 hours a day when you do a Vipassana retreat, and the advanced students for longer than that. So why are they doing that? Well, because it helps with the meditation, helps to clear your mind, right? There's a mental and spiritual benefit to fasting, a very strong one, which is why, again, you're going to see, Ramadan, of course, is a whole month of dry fasting. I'll talk about that in a minute. And, Buddhists, of course, Gautama Buddha very famously did some pretty extreme fasting for quite long periods of time. In the Bible, of course, Jesus had long fasts. And when they were talking about fasts with Buddha and Jesus and Ramadan, okay, they're usually talking dry fasts or at least water fasts. Okay, they're not eating juice. They're not eating snacks. Some people have a very relaxed definition of fasting, but a real fast is no food, at least no food. And often when you're reading about fasts, especially religious fasts and other fasts, they're talking about dry fasting. So Ramadan, I believe, and I know we have many Muslims who are doing Ramadan now. So if I'm off with this, then let me know if I get some of these details wrong. Okay, but I believe Ramadan is daylight, right? You fast during the daytime. So when the sun's up, it's a dry fast. No drinking, no eating through the whole sun. Then they will eat at night. They'll break the fast at night. Often with dates, something light, right? They're not eating a steak immediately after fasting, especially dry fasting. Bad idea. So you eat something light, and of course, drink water to rehydrate. And then they go to bed. So in fact, they're getting a pretty long fast because, during the night, they're sleeping at least 8 hours so that you fast when you sleep. And then they're fasting during the entire sunlight time. So that's another 12. So, that's like a 20-hour fast or something like that. Nice. And they're doing it every single day for a whole month. So that's a series for over a month, that's a series of, 30 or so dry fasts of 20 hours or so, which is great. Really great. Fantastic. And I've decided I'm going to start doing more dry fasting. Before, like I said, when I was doing fasting, I was doing water fasting, but I had the one experience with dry fasting, and then just recently again, and I've been reading more and researching more about dry fasting, and it's just so much more powerful for longevity, for health, for all these, every area of life. Very powerful. And I'm going to share with you a book now, because I found this very cool book. By the way, please, I know some of you are commenting in other languages, like Arabic, it looks like, which is, nothing wrong with your language, but because this is an English learning channel, please comment in English. When you write your comments, please put them in English, because otherwise the rest of us can't understand them. Okay, so anyway, this cool book. Now, this is a cool book about fasting, and it's called Dry Fasting by Sergey Filanov. Sergey Filanov, Russian. And he wrote a very, very, if you're interested in dry fasting at all, I highly recommend reading this book. This guy, very, very interesting. So Sergey Filanov, during the Soviet Union time, so during the Soviet period, and then after, he continued after. I'm not sure if he's still alive now, but he was still alive in 1980s, and after. So Sergey Filanov, during like I said, in the Soviet Union time, he developed and researched a whole program of fasting to help heal people, because they had a problem where they didn't have the money and the drugs and the same kind of medical system as, let's say, Europe or the United States. So they were looking for, the Soviets, or at least he was looking for, and him, not only him, a few other very interesting Russians started looking very deeply into fasting and using fasting as a way, developing different programs of fasting to help people heal very serious diseases. And so in his book, he discusses a whole lot of the research they did, and and then he presents kind of a lot of different programs, right? Like there's a whole lot of programs. So they have, for people who are very, very, very sick, some very tough, difficult dry fasting, like dry fasting for 7 days, dry fasting for 9 days, dry fasting for 10 days. Now they did this with doctors around. Okay, they were not doing, don't do a 10-day dry fast at home. You might have some serious problems. Obviously, it can be very dangerous to go that long if you don't know what you're doing and you have no one around to support you. So some of the very long dry fasts, right? No food, no water. They were doing, but basically in hospital settings, to cure people of things like cancer or very, very, very serious diseases. So they're quite aggressive, and they were just trying these things. But they had great success with this. And then they started realizing, well, wow, some of these fasts are very long, very, very hard. So they started experimenting with different lengths, like maybe do 3 days of dry fasting, and then 3 days of normal, and then 3 days of dry fasting, and then 3 days normal, 3 days dry fasting, kind of alternating. And several Russians, including what's his name again? Filanov, developed a bunch of different systems. So I'm going to try one developed by actually a mystic named Porfiry Ivanov. Porfiry Ivanov, who was kind of a spiritual, I'm assuming Christian, spiritual, I don't know what you would call him, mystic, or almost kind of like a Sufi in the, or in Islam, or in Sanatana Dharma, it might be like a sadhu. That's what, like the way they describe him, he sounds like a sadhu to me. So basically what he did is this guy, Ivanov, when he was in his 30s, he got cancer, and he was diagnosed with cancer, and they said, you're going to die very soon. So he was super depressed about it, and he decided that he just wanted to die quickly. He didn't want to die slowly from cancer. So he thought, I'm going to make my body weaker. I'm going to just torture my body, and so I'll die faster. So he started to go, this is Russia, right? So he started going out in the winter, in the cold, in the snow, with no clothes on. He started just sitting in cold ice water and like pouring ice water on himself every day, right? To make himself freezing cold. He thought this would, kill him faster. And the other thing he did is he started to do dry fasting. He would not eat and he would not drink for several days. And surprise, surprise, and he did not die. The opposite happened. He got stronger and stronger and stronger. He cured himself of the cancer. The cancer completely disappeared. He became really strong and tough physically. And he realized, oh, wow, there's something about fasting and cold. We're not going to talk about cold today. Some of you guys might know about Wim Hof. And there's a bunch of people who have also researched, cold therapy. And there are a lot of benefits for that. So that's part of Ivanov's system, but the part I'm focusing on today is the dry fasting. And he developed a whole system, and his system of dry fasting is to fast for like a day and a half every week. So basically on the weekend, he would fast for 40 hours, a little more than a day and a half. And I can tell you that's pretty moderate. It's maybe if you did the first time, you're going to feel tired. Like I said, I just did my first dry fast in a long time. This weekend, it was not quite that long. It was like 30-something hours. I got tired, but nothing terrible. I was a little tired. But I'm going to build up, and I'm going to try his system. I'm not going to do the cold part. I don't like cold. Skip the cold part. I'm just going to focus on the fasting, and I'm going to try to start just basically fast on Sundays every week, from Saturday night to an all day Sunday is my goal. But it's amazing. I feel fantastic. I feel really good after doing this. Like I said, I fasted about a day and a half this weekend, and then the last few days I've been dry fasting just maybe half the day. So I'll eat in the morning, and I'll kind of eat maybe breakfast and lunch, sort of like the reverse of Ramadan. I eat in the morning and maybe a early afternoon, and then I fast at night, all night long, and also that evening. And I feel really, really good. Like I feel my mind and my body, I definitely feel better. It's fantastic. During the fast, like I said, a little tired. I'm getting a little used to it, but long term, I can feel already that it's really powerful. And there are other ones in here. So I check off. Oh, it's Filanov. Yeah, check off Dr. Filanov's book if you're interested in dry fasting, because there are lots of different ways. That's just one way, that one example of a way to do it. But he's got a whole bunch of different things and systems that these Russian researchers and scientists tried out, and they got really, really great results. The other person, of course, that I always love to promote about fasting is Cole Robinson's Snake Diet on YouTube. He's on Clubhouse now, I think, because they censor him a lot, and YouTube's not free, and YouTube doesn't want to let too much about fasting get out. But anyway, Snake Diet YouTube channel, Snake Diet. I don't know where else he is. Facebook. I think he's still on Facebook. And he's got a lot of videos about the benefits of dry fasting as well. He talks about all kinds of fasting, mainly water fasting, and dry fasting. He'll talk about both. They both have benefits, and they both have different situations where you would use one or use the other. But I am becoming a fan of dry fasting. I feel I can get a bigger benefit in a shorter time. It's a little tough, but I don't feel it's super tough. It's not a lot tougher than water fasting, for me at least. I feel the effects, the benefits much, much quicker. And I know also this is a powerful way to heal yourself. So if I ever did get a more serious health problem, this is how I would deal with it immediately. I would just start doing longer dry fasts. So dry fasting is awesome. And on top of all of that, then, of course, all the main religions have in their, if you look at their traditions, they had fasting, right? Now, some now have gotten a little weak with the fasting, and like in the United States, a lot of the Christian churches, they don't really fast anymore, which is sad. It's sad they lost it, because it's so powerful, but they've become really, they think everybody's weak and wimpy, which they kind of are, and so they don't push the real fasts anymore, the true fast, right? They'll say, "Oh, just don't eat meat for a week." It's like, "Oh, that's easy. That's nothing. You're not going to get much benefit from that." But if you do a whole fast for a week or a full month, or like Muslims still practice real fasting, which is great, and some other groups do too. So do the real thing. If you really want to get the benefits, and do the research and play with it, experiment with it, try it yourself, right? Because there are many ways to do it. You can go different lengths of time. My advice is don't push your body too hard, right? So even if you do water fasting or if you do dry fasting, build up slowly, right? Don't immediately start with a 4-day dry fast. You're going to feel terrible if you do that. Your body, it's probably shock your body. It's too much. So you might start by just like a Ramadan style, where you just eat at night and fast all day. You could do dry or even water. Do that for a month, and then your body starts to get used to it. Then the next month, you could try doing something a little longer, like do a whole day, 24-hour dry fast. And do just once a week, and then your body get used to that, and then you could kind of build up, and then say, okay, I'm going to try a 2-day dry fast, see how my body handles it, and your body probably will handle it very well, and you're going to get great benefits. So dry fasting. Let's talk about dry fasting a little bit in the comments, and then next we'll come back and I'll talk about our challenge, our 365 challenge, because we're doing a challenge with a new skill. For you, most of you, it's English. Every day. Never miss a day. No rest days, no break days. I'm doing it too with jiu-jitsu. All right, let's get into the comments and questions. So again, please comment in English so we can all read it. It's not, okay, yeah, it's like Iman Sasi says, it's not difficult to fast for a whole month. Yeah, I think it's a very mild fast, actually. I think the Ramadan fast is a great one for it. Anybody can do it. Anybody could do that fast. You're eating at night, so you're doing a maximum of something like 20 hours of fasting or something like that. It's very doable. It's a good way to start. And then Abadat says, do you have any experience dry fasting? Yeah, I just did a dry fast this weekend. 30-something hours. Let's say 32 hours. And then during the week, the last few days, I've been fasting probably like, well, I can tell you exactly because I'm tracking it. I've been fasting about 14 hours a day, 14 to 16 hours a day. We'll say 15 for average. So 15 hours a day, no food, no water. And then the other parts of the day I'll eat or drink or night or whatever. Yeah, Mehdi here with a great comment. Good to see you, Mehdi, by the way. Oops, where'd it go? Yeah, here we go. Mehdi says, you can't control everything in your life, but you can absolutely control what you put in your body. Very excellent point. You know, there are many things in the world. We all know. You can get online and read or watch in the news that huge numbers of things we have no control over at all. Zero. Nothing we can do about it. Things we don't like, things we like. But what we eat, we can control. 100%. You have control over eating or not eating. If you choose not to eat, right? Fasting gives you, and this is why, too, where it makes your mind stronger. It makes your willpower stronger. If you have an addiction, any kind of addiction, right? Something that's not healthy but you really want it all the time. There's fasting, especially dry fasting, it's the best way to break the addiction. I have a sugar addiction, right? And it always comes back. Because I'll eventually start eating and I'll eat some sweet stuff. And then I start eating a little more and then I start eating a little more. And then it just comes back as a habit. So how do you break it? It's hard to break. Anyone who knows about this, who likes sweet stuff, if you really like it, that's a hard addiction to break. Well, I broke it in 30 hours of dry fasting. That's how I break it. And that's how I break it every time. Now, if I go and I eat some sweet stuff next month, it'll probably come back. And then I got to fast again. But the fasting will just, if you have an alcohol problem, if you have any kind of addictive, even problems like other kinds of addictions where they're more about, like your behavior, this is just such a great way to break them is fasting. I think it's the best. It makes your willpower super strong. If you can stop eating and stop drinking, then you can stop anything, right? So it's really powerful. David Curdy says we can do fasting for more than a month. Absolutely. I think that, what Cole talks about, snake diet, is a fasting lifestyle. So you're fasting, it becomes part of your life. Like, so you're doing a fast every week, for example. Who was it? Paul Bragg, kind of original American, health food, I don't know what you call him, pioneer, right? Like he's dead now, but he died at age 90. I think it was 96. He was surfing in Hawaii at age 96. He died in an accident, which tells you that at 96, he could still surf, which is not, I can't surf. I've tried it. It's hard. So very impressive, right? At 96, he was still so active and strong. He was surfing. So he wrote a book about fasting. He did water fasting, I believe, but he fasted one day every week. I think it was usually Sunday, so no food every Sunday. So once a week he would fast, right? So, like I said, if you're religious and you have religious holidays where fasting is possible or encouraged, then you do that for sure. But like David is saying, you can also just do it every week. You can make it part of your life. Another thing that's very popular now in kind of health areas, bodybuilders, others, is something called intermittent fasting. That's when you, kind of what I'm doing now with the dry fasting, where you eat every day, but you kind of eat in a short amount of time, like over just 4 hours or 6 hours. So you're fasting maybe 18 hours a day, or at least 16 hours a day you fast. So you limit the time when you eat, because that time when you're not eating, it's really good for your body. Really good. So you still get to eat, but you kind of have this, that's why they call it in English breakfast. We say breakfast in the morning. We eat breakfast. It means break fast. Break your fast, right? Because when you sleep, you're not eating, so you're fasting. You're always fasting when you're sleeping, meaning you're not eating and you're not drinking, right? So when you wake up, your first meal, you break the fast of the night. Fasting is a bad thing for your health. Not at all. That's insane. Absolutely the opposite, says Cheyenne. No, you're wrong. Do some research, dude. No way is it harmful. Okay. Here's Nasser. Says the first few days. Oh, yeah, Master did some. I remember before when we were fasting. Nasser says the first few days are mostly tough. This is true. After a while, it becomes completely normal. Interestingly, you stop thinking about food as much as before fasting. This is exactly right. So if you've never fasted before, when you first try it, it's definitely tough. If you do water, even if you do a juice fast, it'll feel difficult, right? Because we're food addicts. In the world now, modern people are addicted to food, addicted to sugar, but just food in general. We're so addicted. Oh my God, we think we're going to die if we don't eat for one day. It's ridiculous. So we're weak. And so, yes, the first time you do it, you're going to be hungry. Yes, you'll be hungry. You might be tired. You might get a headache. This is nothing, guys. These are minor, nothing to worry about. Okay, these are small things. But here's the good thing. Your body adapts. Your body gets used to it, okay? Just imagine, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, people were hungry sometimes, especially in the winters. Can you imagine? Or the dry season. There was not much food around. They had to fast. There was no choice. So our bodies can do it, okay? So after you get used to it, you do a few of them. You start small, like one day, and then you can eventually go up to 2 days. And then you could go to 3 days if you want to. And then you could even do dry fasting. And little by little, your body gets used to it. And like Nasser says, you really stop thinking about food. This is something else I like about dry fasting. I feel I'm less hungry when I dry fast, right? When I'm drinking water, I notice I'm kind of hungrier more. I want food. But when I'm total dry fasting, for me at least, everyone has a different experience. But for me, I don't really feel hungry during a dry fast. I feel thirsty sometimes, but not hungry. And I can handle thirst better than hunger. So anyway, you just experiment with these things, right? There, you can start playing around with it. Don't torture yourself. You go, and if it's too much, then you stop. And next time, try to go a little longer if you want to. Oh, cool. Malika Star says, happy to see you again. I was just listening to one of your VIP courses. Thank you for bringing this topic. You're welcome. Yeah. Faith Idiom Channel says, we love sugar and fat. Indeed, we do. Modern food is garbage, right? Industrial food is garbage. I think we all know that. Oh, cool. Zohair says, in our religion, it's better to fast every Monday and Thursday. That's a good system. 2 days a week. That's great. Fantastic. I think something like that, 1 or 2 days a week, is actually very, very good to do. When you do it consistently like that, your body really gets used to it. And you get kind of very long-term benefits because This is my goal. With our challenge, we're talking about consistency, right? So I've decided this is not quite. I'm not going to fast every day. I'll die. But with fasting, I've decided I'm going to be a little less hard about it. Try to relax about it more, a little bit shorter, and try to be more consistent. Make it part of my life every week, instead of doing it a lot. For a while and then getting tired and not doing it again. So this is why I'm doing it. Yeah, that's a good point about Ramadan. ICANN says, Ramadan is 30 days. 30 days is more than enough time to change. So for us, Ramadan is the month of change. What I heard is you get used to something for more than 30 days, it becomes like a habit. Right. See, it's a great point. Excellent point. So probably some people do Ramadan and they go back to eating garbage again. But it's actually a great opportunity to keep going. You don't have to do that exact fast after Ramadan, but you can keep doing fasting. Make it part of your life. Now it's a habit. You're gotten used to it after 30 days. So don't just forget about it. Marcelo says, in Brazil, it's good morning. Good morning, Brazil. Oh, and Avu says, it seems you have a new house. Yeah, you'll notice behind me, boxes. Because we moved. We're in a new apartment. And this is the reason I was not doing shows for a while. Because I'm not unpacked. So I finally found the camera and the lights. And I made some space in this office. This office is smaller than my last one. The apartment's better. The other rooms are bigger, but this one's smaller. But anyway, that's why you're going to see some boxes in the background for a while until I finally unpack. Okay, let's keep going. A few more, and then we'll switch. I'll just look for a few more comments about fasting. Then we'll switch, and we'll talk about our challenge, the 365 challenge. Brahim says fasting helps us to be patient. It does indeed. It is one of the great benefits. Yeah, Ramesh Meena Savak says fasting is the best way to get control of our eating. It is absolutely 100% a great way to get control of your eating or any addiction, to just reset. It resets. It's kind of like a reset. Like on a computer or phone, right? You have to reset your phone sometimes if it has a lot of problems. So maybe you reset it and then everything's working again correctly. Fasting does that for your brain and your body. You start having a bunch of problems, you fast, and then it resets everything and everything starts working well again. It's really cool. Yeah, Dana Usman says the benefits of fasting, aside from the religious obligations for Muslims, is that improved weight management and improved health. Absolutely. So again, let me mention this book. I'm going to put it on the screen. If you're interested in some of these ideas, this book by Ivanov is really great. It's about dry fasting. I'll show the cover. I think you can see it now. Can you see it? Yeah. So it's called Dry Fasting. And the author, the writer, Sergey Ivanov, Russian, a Russian man. Sergey Ivanov, who did a lot of really interesting experiments and research with dry fasting specifically. And he talks about other Russians who also did a lot of very interesting research with dry fasting. It's a very interesting book. I think you'll like it. If you're interested in fasting, check it out. Sergey Ivanov. And it's just called Dry Fasting. And I got it on Amazon. That's where I bought it. So Ibrahim Algami says, do you know we mostly eat dates after sunset? So this is for Ramadan. Then we go back and pray and come back and eat. Some doctors say it's a good habit. It's a great habit. It's a really great habit. You're going to see health benefits if you do it, and especially if you make it part of your life more. Keep going after, not maybe not every day, but keep doing fasts. Yeah, Bahij says, fasting can help us take over our desires. That's a great way to put it. And this is why you see, like, Gautama Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, obviously, and many others, lots of different rishis, and all different religions, and use fasting. Not only religions, but you'll have to do a YouTube search, an internet search, but I know there are a lot of famous scientists and others who fasted a lot. I believe a lot of the ancient Greeks did it. So, yes, 100%, it's great. It helps you take over your desires, get control of your life, stronger willpower. So these are the mental benefits. The physical benefits are great. All right, shall we talk about the 365 challenge? I think we should. All right, the 365 challenge, the 365-day challenge. So we're doing it. It started last month. You can start now if you want to. It's okay. It's a long challenge, so if you start late, no big deal. So what is this challenge? The challenge is this. You're going to do something every single day for a year, right? 365, that's how many days in a year. So this is a goal. It's a challenge focused on consistency, right? Doing something every single day, never missing a day. That's the idea. I know a lot of you, of course, are going to do this with English. So it means doing, I'm just going to say doing, or even I'm going to use a better word later, but for now we'll say doing English every day. And you can put a time limit. You could say 30 minutes every day, hour every day, 2 hours a day, that you decide how long. And the goal is to be consistent. So it doesn't matter, like, if some days you're tired and some days you feel it's not great. Doesn't matter. Just do it anyway. That's the whole point. Doing it anyway. Do it. Always do it. I'm doing jiu-jitsu. Obviously, I speak English already, so I'm doing jiu-jitsu is my challenge. Jiu-jitsu is a martial art fighting style. And so I really love jiu-jitsu. I want to get better. So I decided I need to do jiu-jitsu every single day. Right? Because I was only doing like 2 days a week before, and my improvement was quite slow. This is kind of normal, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. A lot of people do that. But I felt like my improvement is going to be so slow. I'm never going to get better or much better just doing 2 days a week. It's not enough. So I realized that what I need is consistency. I don't need to train harder, right? I don't meaning I go and I get exhausted completely. What I need to do is train more every day, and maybe a little lighter, right? If because I'm doing something physical, it affects my body, and I can't train jiu-jitsu every day hard. If I do, I'm gonna get an injury. I'm gonna be exhausted. It's not possible. Maybe for someone much younger and stronger than me, maybe they can do that, but I can't. So what I have to do is I have to adjust. So I've decided I'm only going to train hard 2 days a week, like I was before. And all the other days are going to be easy. A lot of the other days are at home. It's just me by myself practicing moves, in jiu-jitsu very, very slowly, very light. If I sweat tiny bit. It's very relaxed, but I'm doing it every day. It's helping. I'm starting to remember things. And jiu-jitsu, kind of like language with English. Jiu-jitsu is very complicated. There are a lot of techniques and many different details, lots of things to remember. This is maybe the hardest part about jiu-jitsu compared to maybe say boxing. Boxing, jab. It's pretty clear. It's pretty simple, right? Step with your foot. It's not necessarily easy to do it well, but it's very simple. You don't need to remember a lot of things to learn how to jab or to do a cross, right? 1, 2. It's simple. You can just practice that again and again. You're not going to forget it, right? But with jiu-jitsu, it's like, grab with this hand, this arm goes here, and then one of your legs does something, and then your other leg does something, and then you move, and then you have to change your arms and change it's super complicated, and it's all happening very fast. So this is one of the big problems. And it's just like with English, right? You have to remember so many words. There's so many words to remember. So what happens is you learn a word, and then you forget it. It's exactly what happens to me in jiu-jitsu. I'll go to jiu-jitsu class, and we learn a technique. And I'm like, okay, right. And then the next time I go to jiu-jitsu, poof, it's gone. I can't remember it, right? Certainly I can't remember it fast, right? Like if I'm fighting somebody, I'm in the position, I know, oh, that technique, I should do it. And I can't remember how to do it. Like my brain just stops. I can't remember it. Maybe when I go home, I kind of remember, oh yeah, right? You have this experience with English. You learn a new word. But then you're in a conversation and now's the time to use the word, and you can't remember it. Maybe later, 2 hours later, oh yeah, you remember it, but it's too late. So this is a problem. It's a very common problem. So what helps with this is consistency. Consistency, doing something every day, because it just that reminder, it's the repetition that helps you mentally to remember. Even if each day is very, very relaxed. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to start time-outing people because I need comments in English, please. Okay. One second, just cleaning up my comments here. Okay. So back to this consistency. So this is the idea of then the 365 challenge is to do English every day. And instead of do English, I want to give a different word. Play English. In my seminars, when I would do big seminars, I often talked about this idea. Don't do English. Don't study English. Play English, right? Kind of like we say, we play soccer. You play football. You play a game. And that's the mindset you should have with English, is that you're playing with it, right? When you play, you're not afraid of mistakes. When you play, you're enjoying it. You're having a good time. You're flexible, right? When we study something or when we train something, right, then it has this idea of it's work and it's hard and you got to force yourself and push yourself. And that's hard to do every single day. I noticed this with jiu-jitsu. I had the idea of training jiu-jitsu. And I did it. I was successful in April. I did it every day. And so far in May, it's May 5th now, I've done every day also. But I realized, this week that I was getting a little too serious about it, right? I had this idea of train jiu-jitsu, train it. So I would get very frustrated when I was losing at the gym. I would get frustrated. Oh, I'm not improving fast enough. I'm doing it every day. I'm still not improving fast enough. I'm still forgetting things. And started enjoying it less. And then I was watching a jiu-jitsu video, and a guy was talking about children. How in jiu-jitsu, children, they just play, they just try things, right? If they're in a position they don't know what to do, they just try something, and maybe it's a mistake, and maybe they lose, and they don't care. They'll just try things, even if they don't know what to do. They just try anything. But adults, we're always worried about doing the wrong thing, so we'll just stop and do nothing, right? And I realized, I do that, right? I'll get in a position, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid of losing, afraid of tapping. I don't know why. But, and I realized, that's foolish, and it makes me enjoy it less. So I'm just going to play jiu-jitsu now. I'm going to play. One of the Gracies, Hiron Gracie, always says, keep it playful. Keep it playful. Be playful in your jiu-jitsu. Be playful. Play jiu-jitsu. Try things. You lose. Laugh. Do it again. Try something else. Constantly exploring and trying. Then you're enjoying it, and you also will improve better. You'll improve faster when you're playful and you're not afraid to make mistakes. And that is also true in English. So I want you to play English this year, this 365 days. What does that mean? It means don't force yourself to do things too much. If one day you decide, maybe you decide I'm going to listen to this same lesson, I'm going to do it for 2 weeks, and I'm going to every day for 2 weeks, and after 1 week you're getting tired of it. Well, maybe on day 8, don't force yourself. If you're getting bored with it, just do something new. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to watch a movie in English. I'm going to just do anything. Just anything in English. Play. Be playful with your English. When you're talking to someone in English, online or face-to-face, just talk and use words. And if you're not sure if a word is correct, just say it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. Who cares? You can't remember a word, just use another word that you know and do your best and have a fun conversation. Don't worry about your performance at all. Make it playful. Keep it playful. And in this way, you will enjoy English more, and you'll do it every day. It'll be easy to do every day because you're enjoying it. You're playing with English. You're not studying English. You're not training English. You're playing English. And it's fun to play every day. Everyone likes to play. So keep it playful. Slavisa says, learning English has long been my habit. My new habit is learning Russian every day. Excellent. I started April 2nd. I listen at least 1 hour a day, and I sing about 8 languages now. Yeah, that's wonderful. She has posted on my Gab account. On the screen, you'll see gab.com, AJ Hoge. Follow me there. It's my only social media now. Anyway, Slavisa has posted some nice songs that she did one in Japanese, actually, about the cherry blossoms. Very nice. So see, that's playful, right? She likes singing. So she's just singing songs in different languages. Great. That's a playful thing. That's wonderful to do. So that's what you do. You find things in English or any language. She's doing Russian now, where you just relax and do things you enjoy, read things you enjoy, listen to things you enjoy. Don't make yourself stressed about it. Just do it every day in an enjoyable way. And Madurai says, what's the easy way to learn English? I just told you. Be playful with your English and do it every day. That's the easiest way to do it. Because it's more enjoyable. And if it's enjoyable, it feels easier. Right? Like jiu-jitsu is not easy. It's hard. But it feels a lot easier when I'm just laughing and relaxing and being playful. And if I have this idea, I'm so serious, I got to become a champion, then I get stressed out and it's not as fun. I mean, I still like it, but it's less enjoyable. So I think that's true for most things. Not be too serious about it. It's good to be consistent. It's good to have goals, and good to be disciplined. But it's good to have a playful attitude. Do all of that with an attitude of playfulness is much better, which is what children naturally do. Martin's asking, will you do a live chat with VIPs? I will, now that I have my cameras and lights back. I'll do one. I'll do one soon. That's a good idea. How to contact me, send me a message. Muhammad Khalifa says, Gab is a great place to send me a message. Follow me on Gab. This is a good question. Oh, where I just lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Day by Day says, when I listen to English, is it sufficient for me to focus on the idea or the words? Just the general ideas. You can just catch the big general ideas as you listen to me. You don't need to worry about every single word. You might miss some words. You might not know some words. Just relax. You'll eventually get them. When you're reading, you can be a little more picky. It's easier. But with listening, it's best to relax. Vladislav says, Russians love you too. Thank you. Ican says, from today, I will make it playful. Yeah, be playful. I think it's very helpful. Play English is a new idea, says Ramesh. Yeah, I like it. I really like that phrase, play English. Don't study English, play English. Cool. Christian Garing Art says, after a month doing this challenge, I felt more confident, especially when we have a class discussion. I try to minimize listening and watching local videos and TV shows. Great. Exactly. That's just 1 month. I'm starting, like I said, I was getting a little frustrated towards the end of April.